9 years ago,
Yeah.
we generated about 33 million UK pounds per year
Yeah.
for our international rights in total across the world.
Yeah.
Next year, this coming season, we will enjoy the benefit of 212 million pounds in 1 year. So effectively we've times it by 7 in the last 8 or 9 seasons. Suffice to say that for Asia as a whole, represents about half of that. So it's about 100 million pounds, about $200 million a year. This time round, we offered the live rights on what we would call platform neutral basis. So if a mobile phone operator had come along and said, we want them, and broadcast became the third form of distribution in the line, then that would have been okay to us. In PCCW's case with Now, the IPTV is the lead medium. They are going to be transmitting or simulcasting live onto mobile. Because our view now is live rights are live rights. With media convergence, as you well know in Hong Kong, it doesn't really matter what your pipe of delivery is, or quite frankly what sort of device you're viewing on. Content is content, and that's a big step. I mean, that's how we're dealing with media convergence, rather than try and split them up and sell all these different rights to different people. It clearly doesn't work if they're the same live rights in a media converged world. I think the Chinese market, like many other markets, will mature and develop over time. You know, at the end of the day, intellectual property rights generally across the world, where intellectual property maybe has been, you know, the rights regimes haven't been particularly tight. What you've noticed across the world, and we've seen it, and it's happening across Africa and everywhere else, is it does mature. And at some point, don't ask me to actually predict the date, but at some point China will, and it already is, developing some sort of intellectual property rights, rights regime. It will mature, and when it does mature, you know, I think the market there will start to conform to some of the more normal models. And we understand that. We fully respect and understand that. It's a challenge, but we know it's a challenge that if we keep at it, they keep at it, will over time work itself out. Well, I think people are buying into the Premier League for what it is. I don't think they buy into it for what they want to make it. I mean, we are pretty successful. People are attaching themselves to us. If we want to be the global league, which we are, I think, what you then expect is people to be interested in us globally, and quite frankly we take players from all over the world and welcome players from all over the world. We welcome investors from all over the world. We're not shy about that. We are most other industries and most other countries would give anything to have the sort of inward investment that we attract, and therefore we're not shy of it. We don't really mind where it comes from, as long as those owners, when they do come, respect the traditions of what football's all about. You know, we have a rule book which is a club between, you know, it's a rule book that exists between the 20 member clubs. As long as they abide by those rules, play their part, we would welcome anybody to that. I think one of the factors is the way we've gone about selling our rights, because we have had a deliberate strategy to deal directly with local broadcasters. There aren't many sports or sports organisations, and certainly not many leagues, who've got the resources, the time, the effort, the energy, and quite frankly the brand cachet to deal direct. And when you've got, you imagine what that's like on a worldwide basis. You know, we issued an invitation to tender to 480 odd broadcasters, and just to deal with that, just to manage that traffic, manage that communication, where you have to speak to them all, you have to email them all, you have to get responses from them all, you negotiate with them all in terms of making sure they understand the invitation to tender, the offering, the bidding. It's a huge operation, which normal sports broadcasters or normal leagues would just give to an agency and say, whilst you're in there selling on behalf of A, B, C, D, E and F, would you mind selling us G? And clearly, you know, what we've done is something very different, and we've deliberately gone out to have this direct relationship with broadcasters, which not only has rewarded us financially, it's also rewarded us in marketing terms, because of all that support programming and commitment to broadcasting. And, you know, when you see what now we're going to be doing in the next X number of weeks in terms of marketing around here, you know, it's just again exposure for our league and exposure for us, which is good.